If you're thinking that the Tecno Camon 20 Pro 5G is the dominant smartphone to get now in the below 15,000 pesos or $260 range, well, Infinix says, whoops, hold my beer and brings out this, the Infinix Note 30 VIP. A phone that one-ups the Camon with its tricks of its own sleeve. But just like its name, does this phone be the very impressive phone of the bunch? Or is it just a one-trick pony? Hey guys, James here, and this is Tech M.N.O. Join me as I answer and discover the good things and the bad things of the Infinix Note 30 VIP in our full review. Let's start the video now with the unboxing. Here's the retail packaging of the Infinix Note 30 VIP. You may notice that there's two boxes here, so we will unbox the big one first. This is the phone part of the box, so once we lift it up, we can see the phone first. Let's put it on the side for now and lift up the divider here. We can see its hard shell plastic case included, manuals, the USB Type-C cable, SIM tray remover tool, and the 6 to 8 watt adapter. Putting away the box now and removing the protective plastic of the phone. And we're setting it up. Once done, we will put the included case here on the phone. Just a quick nitpick, I really don't like this type of case, so I just bought one from Shundi. Links in the video description below if you want to buy one. After that, let's open the second box now, and it's the free wireless charging pad. Yes, you heard it right, a free wireless charging pad when you buy this phone. More on that in a bit. Once we open it, we can see just the charging pad here. And that's it for the unboxing and setup. Before we begin, to be transparent to you guys, this video is not sponsored by Infinix or any store or company here in the Philippines. I bought the Infinix Note 30 VIP with my own money to test it out and review. All of the things I'll say are mine only, and no one has any advanced copies or additional input in my full review. The brands will see this for the first time alongside you. And if you're interested in getting this phone for yourself, I will have my affiliate links down in the video description below. And also, just to give you a little bit of fun to our review, I will use the abbreviations V, I, and P as my verdict to my experiences and analysis on this phone category. V stands for very good or very impressive, I stands for in the middle, and P stands for poor. Are we good with it? Alright, let's start with the Infinix Note 30 VIP's design. And my overall impression of it was poor-ish. Well, let me explain. I will still give kudos to Infinix on their color choices for the Note 30 VIP. The one that I have here is called Glacier White, which is an iridescent gradient colors of white, light blue, and orange when light shines through it. If you don't like this color, you can pick up the Magic Black, which has a black and navy blue gradient tone there. I also like the boxy and rounded corner frame here on the phone is colored too, to match the back cover. Though I just wish that the plastic frame is a bit matte because it collects fingerprints and smudges really easily. However, we can't hide the fact that the back design really resembles the Oppo Reno 8 Pro, minus the curved camera island for it. Well, I know that this wasn't the main priority of Infinix, unlike its sister brand Tecno with its Camon 20 Pro 5G and its faux leather back design plus its unusual camera island. But I hope they think some other ways here to its camera island so to have a unique identity, on the phone. Alright, let's move on now to the display, which earns a very impressive tag to me since this is the best asset of the phone. When you open the display of the Note 30 VIP, you will never think that this is a mid-range phone. The 6.67-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate is backed up with the super slim and symmetrical bezels that I really enjoy. Goodbye to those clunky forehead and chin, and hello to immersive viewing experience when watching YouTube or Netflix. The color accuracy is good, but it's a bit on the cooler side, but thankfully there's an option to customize it based on your liking if you want an accurate or a bit warm color display. However, there's still some weaknesses in terms of the display on this phone. One of the major concerns from the other phones like the Infinix Zero 5G before is here on the Infinix Note 30 VIP as well, and it's the lowering of the refresh rate even if you lock it at a certain option. Here's a sample of a video that I watched on Netflix. To give you an idea, here are the settings on the refresh rate that's set to 120Hz. As you can see on the refresh rate counter, I play a video on Netflix, the screen goes down to 60Hz even if I lock it to 120Hz. And it goes down and up even if you didn't touch the display. It will go back to 120 Hz and stay it for longer if you will use the display. Next off is sunlight readability, which is a bit dim when you're in direct sunlight, even though it can reach 900 nits peak brightness and the high brightness mode is turned on. Finally, my nitpick is the in-display fingerprint scanner, which is a bit low on my preference, but in contrast though, it's really fast to read my fingerprint to unlock the phone. Speaking of the fingerprint scanner, let's talk about the other features of the Infinix Note 30 VIP in a quick rundown. It has a dual speaker system here on the phone that has been tuned by JBL. The overall loudness and quality is very good in this price range. It has a good bass and there's no sign of distortion on both speakers. Fortunately, there's a headphone jack on this phone and the audio quality there is good, nothing special or in the middle. 5G data speeds are really fast here, though it still depends on your area. And finally, the Note 30 VIP is the first phone in this price range to have a much faster Wi-Fi 6 standard that can give up to 3 times faster data and internet speeds than the Wi-Fi 5 standard. Though you need to have the Wi-Fi 6 compatible routers or modems to fully utilize it. Alright, let's talk about the performance of the Infinix Note 30 VIP. This phone is rocking the MediaTek Dimensity 8050 chipset with 12 gigs of physical RAM plus additional 9 gigs of virtual RAM and 256 gigs of UFS 3.1 storage with expandable storage up to 2 terabytes thanks to its dedicated card slot on the SIM tray. Here's the Antutu score of the phone, by the way, which is very impressive at the price range here. And maybe you're wondering, where you've heard of that chipset? That's because it's the same chipset used on the Tecno Camon 20 Pro 5G. But this one only has more RAM to it. Basic to casual users can expect smooth scrolling to any social media services. Apps can remember the last thing you do without refreshing like on Google Chrome, and it's seamless to multitask from one app to another without any lag. In terms of heavy games like on Mobile Legends, though, you will love playing on this phone because it can handle ultra settings for both graphics and refresh rate. Call of Duty Mobile can handle very high graphics and max refresh rates, and for Genshin Impact, you can do max settings at 60 FPS, but if you want more thermal friendly, you can lower it down to high settings at 60 FPS. Here's some montage for the gaming test here. Before we go any further, if you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get you notified when a brand new video will come out. And follow us on our social media accounts like on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at M.N.O for more content and big giveaways that we have right now that you can check out in the card right here. Let's go over now to its software, which, to be honest, this and Tecno's iOS are my least favorite Android skins. If you're a follower on my TikTok page, I am very vocal about the flaws of Infinix's own user interface. To recap, it is running on XOS 13 on top of Android 13 out of the box. And the bigger question now is, does this have a lot of bloatware and pesky ads? Well, I'm happy to report that I didn't encounter any ads in my one while of using this phone. But in the long run though, I cannot assure if they'll add up soon. Who knows? In terms of bloatware, there's still some 18 apps, but I am so happy that it's quite less now compared to the other phones. 8 apps left to be exact when it's disabled and uninstall some apps. Again, I am so happy that Infinix is listening to some feedback from its users about having an option to remove some unnecessary apps and bloatware to its phones, plus removing the app annoying and not so space-saving app categorization by the first letter of the app. I really just wish that they also remove that pesky recent app screen on the top, because it's really not helpful at all. But one thing is still stinging hard for me about this phone, and that is the software support, which only time will tell if they will provide an upgrade. And most importantly, the stability of the software of all Infinix phones. One prime example is the major issue that happened on the Note 30 VIP, and that is the thermal throttling issue. Upon the launch of the Note 30 VIP, there's a growing number of users complaining about their thermal issues that happened also to the Tecno Camon 20 Pro 5G and waited for about 2 to 3 weeks before fixing it. In my experience though, you can really feel that there's some warming on the upper right part of the phone near the camera island, even if you're only using to watch a video on YouTube or even scrolling on Facebook. It becomes more warm when you play a heavy games. Sadly, I don't have a thermal gun to check the temperature in real time, but what I did is I used a CPU throttling test and see if the claim is true. And lo and behold, it is really true. It started out strong, but when it hits the 5-minute mark, it started to go down and reached from 60 to 65% range in the 15-minute mark and stayed up to the 70% mark up until the 30 minutes here. Thankfully, 2 weeks after, they released the update for this phone addressing the thermal issue and some other bugs that have been fixed here. After that, I used the CPU throttling test again, and the results are much better now. And in real life tests, there's no more warming on the right side of the phone. So the question now is this a good phone that can play games? Yes, but is this a good phone for hardcore gamers? The answer is no. Because yeah, it can have the max settings on some games, but having this thermal issue on the phone makes me second thinking if the phone can last for a very long time. And as you may know, heat is the most hated thing on the AMOLED panels that can lead to the AMOLED burn. So if you want a phone that really has the phone for gamers, you should look at the competition. So my overall ranking here for this phone is in the middle. Alright, let's talk about the front and rear cameras of the Note 30 VIP. Yes, you heard it right. Camera without the S, because in reality, the 108 megapixel main camera is the only usable sensor on the back camera, and the 22 megapixel camera for depth and macro is just pointless. And on the front houses a 32 megapixel selfie camera. So let's begin with the daylight shots. To be honest with you, it's really a hit or miss situation. Some of the time I have great quality like on its sharpness and focus, but most of the time, it really struggles to have that good color rendition, even outdoors. The background has oversaturation on some shots that's too harsh. It's quite like a watercolor shot. On the low light shots, though, you really see why this is not a priority of the phone, and it's a bit poor in this category. It's the same thing I said about the daylight shots, but twice as worse for some shots. Super night mode can help, but not at all the time. Selfie photos, on the other hand, are good, but there's some softness on some shots even if it's a super night mode turned on too. On the video side, the main camera can capture 4K at 30 FPS. However, there's no OIS here unlike the Camon 20 Pro 5G. Results are still good in daylight shots, but it's significantly shaky and has a bit of over-processing on the final output. So if you want to record 4K, use a gimbal to have a stable shot. If you haven't, then you can use the ultra stable shot here, but you will downgrade to 1080p at 30 FPS. Here's a sample recording for the Infinix Note 30 VIP. We're now at 2K at 30 frames per second. So what are your thoughts about the audio quality and the video quality here? Sound of the comment section down below. Here is the sample recording for the Infinix Note 30 VIP. We're now at 1080p at 30 frames per second with ultra steady on. So we're just a little bit crop here. So we just need to lengthen your arms just to fit you on the frame. So what are your thoughts about the audio and video quality? Sound of the comment section down below. Finally, let's talk about the battery and charging of the Note 30 VIP. It has a 5,000 mAh battery capacity, and it can charge with its 68-watt adapter included on the box. But what's very impressive here too is that this also has a wireless charging feature as well that has a 50 watts maximum. Plus, they've included a 15-watt wireless pad on the box too. Very nice. All right, let's begin with the battery first. In casual to moderate use, I can hit at least 8 to 9 hours of screen on time with Wi-Fi and 8 hours with the data. When it comes to heavy usage like playing games or having heavy apps, it can last for 7 to 8 hours straight usage on Wi-Fi and 5 to 6 hours on data. That's very impressive. And when it comes to the charging the phone, if you will charge this in wired mode, you can achieve a full charge in less than an hour. But in terms of wireless charging, with its 15-watt charging pad that includes in the box, you can only full charge it for more than 2 hours. But if you're wondering where you can utilize the max 50 watts wireless charging here, unfortunately, that one needs a proprietary charger dock that's made by Infinix. And sadly, it's not locally available, which is a missed opportunity by them here. So now I share with you the things that are very impressive, the in-between, and the poor things about the Infinix Note 30 VIP. The question now is this the phone to get right now? Well, the answer is, it depends on your needs. At the current price of 14,999 pesos, or if you still get this introductory price of 13,999 pesos, which converts to around 255 to 275 US dollars, it looks like a great smartphone on paper. It kind of delivers the main thing it can do thanks to its big 12 gigs of RAM. But the problem here is the thermal issue, which again happens to its doppelganger, the Tecno Camon 20 Pro 5G. Yes, it's been fixed, but it's quite scary to recommend if the user won't change their phones for more than 2 years and they are a heavy gamer. Yes, there's wireless charging here as well, which is helpful for those people that they want to charge the phone while they're sleeping. But the question is, will you use it every day? So if I have to choose, I really don't need that in a big RAM when I much rather get the Tecno Camon 20 Pro 5G. On the contrary, if you are the kind of user that doesn't care about the cameras, doesn't mind about the thermals of the phone that much, wants to have the biggest possible RAM that it can have on your budget and the maximum performance you can get on the games you're playing, then the Infinix Note 30 VIP is the one that perfect candidate for you. Up until now, I still can't believe how affordable this phone is. That's why it's always sold out everywhere. I just really wish that this phone can be stable on its software and also be stable on the phone, because this one is a one of a kind. Will you get this phone, or do you have a different phone in mind? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And again, if you're interested on getting this phone right now, links are in the video description below. And for more videos like the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 Classic review, click the playlist right here. Or if you want to watch my previous video, click right here. And don't forget to subscribe to my 2 channels. Again, my name is James, and I will catch you guys on the next one.